So getting back into character, Mr. Superior, could you elaborate on the data collection process and everything that is there associated with that?
Sure, Mr. Nitin. So as part of the discussion that we had with the client, and once we were identifying what exactly we had to do, we then looked out for the data, and the data that was basically shared was in a CSV format. And this data was collected by the customers themselves, and they were storing that in a CSV file and sharing it with us. And we use that CSV file to import that into Python, and then we went ahead about doing our job by processing that particular data and implementing various the pre-processing steps, and then we built the models, and then we partitioned the data, build the accuracy models, compared the results from training and test, and then finally we decided what is the best result, and then shared that particular solution back to the client for them to use.
I have a follow-up question, Mr. Superior. How is your answer with reference to the solution and having given back to the client? Your answer to this, how is it related to the data collection process? Because my question was about data collection, all right? And how is it that your response with reference to the accuracy of the model, etc.? How do you correlate these two? Can you please answer?
Okay, so the data that we received, as I mentioned, was in a CSV format. So it was pretty much clean data that we received. The customers were filling up, the client that we have working for this, right? The project that we were working for was having a team which is recording all this data. So it was pretty clean, and we did not had to really look out for various external factors of the data that we had to use. So pretty much all the data was readily available for us, and we just took the data and built the model. So just to add the process that we followed, I was also explaining about the process of building the models and the accuracy of the models.
All right. So I think it is, again, I have such wonderful data scientists who are actors, who have done a fantabulous job of, giving, I don't have to even explain, I'm sure, to the audience here, while stepping out of character, how they have beautifully fumbled up and, explained it. Trust me, another thing, audience, that interviewers are generally not very rude. So you will not have, I'm sure many of you are thinking that I would ask, please answer to the point. Rarely it happens that you will have an interview who's rude. The interviewer will rephrase the question again. The objective of the interviewer asking the question again was to understand whether or not the interviewee is able to understand the question. All right. So it is quite evident that Sharath has totally missed the mark. I'm sorry. My bad. I moved out of character. Mr. Superior has totally missed the mark here. So let us now hear from Mr. Inferior from a Superior Training Institute, 360-digit MG. Please go ahead, give your answers.
Yes, thank you. So what we have done is we first try to understand the client environment with respect to the infrastructure. And we understood that the client was storing the data in Oracle database. And the customer was also very keen to safeguard the data security and data privacy. So what we have done is we have established an environment at our end, an infrastructure where we installed our own, SQL database. And then we have told to the customer that, hey, customer, these are the various variables that we might need to proceed further with the analysis. Out of probably 20 odd variables or features which we have requested from the customer has given us only 17 variables. So when we establish a connection from the customer's Oracle database to our database, we could actually get only 17 features or 17 variables. And this was called as secondary data. And we as data scientists were using VPN, virtual private network. We were supposed to connect only to this server at our end with no access to the client server, because that has data of complete, of all the customers and all the departments. So whatever data we needed from the construction equipment loan perspective was given to us. We have taken the data, we have placed it on our server, and then we started working on that. And in the due course, we figured out that out of 20, 17 were given by the customer. What about the remaining 3? Remaining 3 were related to getting the data from social media. So we wanted to get into Facebook account of the customers who have applied for the loan and get to understand whether they are always writing negative things on social media or were they writing positive things, because we believe that this variable of sentiment analysis that a customer is exhibiting would also be pivotal in determining whether someone is going to default on the loan or not. So we had to go create an account on Facebook developer app and then get the permission from Facebook. And then we were able to scrape the data. By doing this, we could combine the primary data with the secondary data which the customer has given. And then we have gone about further with the further analysis of doing the data pre-processing and all that. And we have used Python as a programming language. So we established the connection from the SQL to Python, and we built the model. And once the model was built, the prediction results were written back to the database. And from that database, the results were displayed on the dashboard of the customer's construction equipment loan department. So they were able to see the predictions of each and every new customer. And we also have given them options, either to approve the loan or reject the loan or manually process the loan. And we have also told to the customer that we can automate this. And we have given that aspect also, wherein if the probability was greater than 50% that someone will default, reject the loan. Automatically, our program, which we have written, would do that. And if the probability is less than 50% that someone will default, then it would get approved automatically. So this is exactly what we have done. And yeah, so this is about the data collection and how we have collected, how we build the model, how we deploy. While you asked me to explain about the data collection, I had to explain this because the entire infrastructure and how the connections were established was, I think, pivotal for you to understand how we have gone about dealing with this. Thank you.